Hey, all, welcome to my channel. Yeah, I know it's been a bit since I posted on there. Um, been a bit busy, really too busy, unfortunately, with work, so that I haven't had time to actually discuss. Where after hours, I didn't even have time for after hours to do anything practically. Just gonna talk a little bit about not Thibodeau, sorry, Obi Toppin, basically, where he is eligible for a draft, for an extension. Question is like, should the Knicks extend, and how much should they extend by, and will Toppin actually accept it? Because one of the things is like there's talks of on the low end him getting 10 million a year versus him getting on average about 16 million, 15 to 16 million years, and then there's talking about PJ Washington and Clark from Memphis. Where Clark, what he got from Memphis was about close to $13 million a year. So I think Toppin believes he's worth a little bit more than that. I think they're waiting for also the fact of like what happens with Washington as far as what he gets, because he's a restricted free agent. Is he going to go in between the spectrum, or does he think he's going to be about that or a little bit more? And the other factors is like also waiting out on Quickly, because Quickly is also eligible. What will his extension be at that point as well too? If he gets more than what Toppin is, and Toppin from his perspective, and I can totally understand him being a number 8 draft pick, worth way more than Quickly. But the problem is Toppin hasn't proved himself defensively speaking. That's where Quickly comes into play with this. He has that defensive ability, not that much on offensive, but every now and then when he does, he's on offensively speaking. But mostly he's more from the defensive aspect. The thing is, Toppin, when he's not good on offense, he's pretty much worthless on the floor, unfortunately. If he could work on his defense a little bit more, great, but highly doubtful in this situation. And plus, when it comes to like open shots, specifically for threes, not worthwhile. Unfortunately, the one thing is him and Randall together, they don't really mesh well on the floor together. If I had my choice, I would gladly trade Randall off as well too. Not get rid of him, but trade him off for a draft pick or two or whatever it may be. But you're not going to do that because the reason, and everyone's like, well, why would you hate Randall? Well, here's the thing. Good as a player is, and even though he's an all-star, the thing is we saw it in the 2020 playoffs, or 2021 playoffs, sorry. No, 2020 playoffs, as well as this playoff, where he can get to the playoffs, but then when he's not landing his shots offensively speaking, his defense suffers. He just becomes lackadaisical because he's such a moody player. When his off, buckets aren't falling through, his defense also gets affected, and like it becomes lackadaisical. And then at that point, he becomes unworthy of like being on the floor, but yet he's on there because he's being paid an all-star salary. So the thing is, I would love to trade him off, but I don't think the Knicks are gonna move him. And if they try to move him, what team is going to pick him up? Because they see this, unless the team is desperate enough way, they already have two superstars or all-stars that can pick him up, that they just need him as a complimentary player, then yeah, they'll take him. But in this case, I doubt that's going to be the case. Similarly with Toppin, everyone knows defensively speaking, he's weak. Offensively speaking, he knows how to drive in, but he can't actually power himself in like, one of the, premier power forwards out there. He's no Zion Williamson, let's put it that way. And the other factor is like when it comes to jump shots, open jump shots, or even threes, he's shooting from the perimeter for that matter. He's not that great compared to everyone else. Even though Toppin believes he is, I don't think so. He's got to prove himself. He does have that talent. He has the raw talent to get there, to be molded. But the thing is, I don't think Tibbs is the person to do this. If the Knicks could trade him off, and most likely to the Pacers, everyone keeps talking about the Pacers. I would love for him to go to the Pacers. If the Knicks could get back a draft pick, like if it would be the seventh draft pick, that'd be great. But in reality, it's most likely going to be their 26th draft pick, I think, that the Pacers have. The question is do the Pacers believe is he worth a first round 26th draft pick? Chances are they'll probably say no, probably a second round draft pick. The Knicks probably think that he's worth more. They're not going to get anything more than that, unfortunately. And then also the aspect of like what's going on right now. I mean, honestly, I was a little caught off guard a little bit as far as with seeing how. And the only reason I'm talking about Toppin in this is because like there's an article on The Athletic talking about this. Should they keep him? Should they keep him on board, etc. Basically, it's hard to determine at that point. Now, the one thing I thought was going to happen was with Poole and with Beal coming to the Suns, the Wizards getting back what didn't what seems like a decent trade off for them. Seems okay. They definitely rebuild it because the thing is like now I'm saying I just saw breaking news that it looks like CP3 is going to Golden State, while Golden State is trading off Poole to the Wizards because Beal is now on the Suns. So it looks like it's a three-way trade. So it looks like Beal coming to the Suns and Poole going to the Wizards. It's going to be interesting because like now they're talking about like as far as trading Porzingis, former Knick, of course, from the Wizards to the Celtics, and with Smart in play, moving Smart at that point as well too. It'll be interesting to see how that works out as well too. But the problem is in that situation, if this is happening, the Wizards are revamping themselves basically, and they're setting themselves to basically come up and get something at this point too. Let's see. Tyrese Jones. Okay, yeah. So the Wizards may or may not be able to get into the playoffs, but like they're setting themselves up to like have enough talent to get there. The Knicks, they need to do something at this point. They need to revamp. They need to rebuild. They need to, whether they re-sign Hart or not, it's another question. The question is with Quickly too. What do you do with Quickly? Grimes is another big factor. The Knicks have Fournier. If they could trade Fournier and get some draft capital, that'd be great. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. If anything, they're going to have to package Fournier with someone else to get something in return. The one thing is, I'm going to be really pissed off if Rose trades off Fournier, and if he were to trade off Fournier and Toppin together, package them in a deal to the Pacers, and they were only to get the 26th pick, that'd be a dumbass move. I mean Fournier, yeah, he's not worth a draft pick per se, but at the same time he's got that free, he becomes a free agent next year, and so he comes off the books for the team basically at that point. So the Knicks could keep him, but it's no purpose for having him there sitting on the bench for however much he's getting paid for. I want to say that maybe if the Knicks can get someone in return. I mean, it'd be great if they could get someone in return for both Fournier and for Toppin. That'd be great. Question is, if they do Toppin and they extend his contract, it's going to be a little tricky at that point where you're not going to be able to sign a hell of a lot of people for free agency. I mean, honestly, I'm the Knicks. I hate to say this, but I feel sorry for Toppin, but trade off Toppin, get that draft pick from Indiana, just do a 1-to-1 swap. Don't get anything else in return, and trade Fournier and maybe another player like I don't know, Fournier and I don't know who else would you trade besides Fournier. D Rose, no one's going to take D Rose, and plus D Rose, Tibbs likes him, so you're not going to see him lose him out. Sims is your only other center beside Hartenstein and Robinson. It'd be great if they could keep Robinson, but if someone's going to want him in the return. Yeah, I hate to say this, but maybe you get Grimes and Fournier out. Maybe even Washington and keep. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know why you have Josh Hart and RJ Barrett together. You maybe trade Barrett. I hate to say it, but you might have to trade Barrett. I would want to, but I think you might have to at this point. But yeah, you have 2 elite shooting guards, D Rose, quickly, McBride. I don't think you need a McBride if you've got. Honestly, I don't think McBride is needed. I mean, he's proven himself, but honestly, I don't think they need him as much per se. You might as well just trade off Grimes. He's not your outside shooter. Barrett, even though he's a shooting guard, I think you need to make him your third wing, small forward at that point, honestly, which is what he's being used for at this point. I think you have to do at that point. That or Toppin not being a power forward, but more of a small forward, maybe that works in his favor at that point as well, too. Maybe that works. So if you have Barrett, Brunson, and Toppin on the floor with Randall, who knows what happens there? But I doubt that's going to work, unfortunately. So I hate to say this, but you're going to have to trade off Toppin, trade off a bunch of people. If you can get a Zion in there, that'd be great. But the way to get Zion, you'd have to trade top. Honestly, what you would have to do is trade off Toppin, trade a Fournier, or maybe keep Fournier, but trade off Toppin, get another draft pick in return, and package up one of those draft picks of this year's draft pick with some of the future round draft picks, and trade off what's his face Randall, and maybe a Fournier. Package those all off to Zion. Maybe Pelicans are willing to take that deal. I don't know, but I highly doubt it. Is it a good trade? I don't know, honestly, because like everyone's thinking about Zion. Is Zion really really good enough? Will he be healthy enough? Who knows? I doubt it. But he's still once in a lifetime generational player. Similarly to the question of there's talks of the Knicks getting Paul George. Honestly, if I had my choice, I would probably go with Kawhi Leonard over Paul George. And I understand, I've said it in my past videos, Kawhi is like one of the worst superstars, not talent-wise when it comes to playing games, but at the same time, because he's injury-prone, but at the same time, look for him this upcoming season to be healthy, and when he's healthy, he'll be on. And this is a year where he's going to prove himself because he's got all the critics coming at him right then and there. And let's remember what happened to him when this happened last time. Traded off to a team, and he went all out, balls out, and won the Raptors a championship. So I think if the Clippers are smart, they keep George and they keep Kawhi. But if they're willing to get rid of him, I'm hoping the Knicks can get both of them, actually. If they can get both of them with Brunson on place, that would be perfect. And you know what? If you could trade Randall for those guys with, let's say, Barrett, okay, I'm willing to do that. But in any case, that's my take on this anyways. But the real question comes down to is with Obi Toppin, should the Knicks extend his contract, give him a contract extension? Personally, I want to say yes, but honestly, I would say no. Trade him off, get that draft pick to Indiana. I would say trade him to Indiana. Would I prefer to trade Randall to Indiana? Perfectly in a heartbeat, but I don't think Indiana's willing to take on his contract. But I think they're willing to take on Toppin, trade off Toppin. Hopefully, we can get that 26 draft pick and go forward with that. Let me know your thoughts. Please put your comments in the comment section. I do read my comments. I do respond to them when they warrant a response and when I get notified. Sorry, I was got distracted. Comments in the comment section. I'll read your comments when they warrant a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you love my videos, love my content, love my channel, again, please subscribe. If you don't like it, but still watch my videos, again, please subscribe. And again, like I said, I welcome feedback, and I also welcome comments, and I love comments. So with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed.